Our quotation that we're dealing with this week is from Henry Ford, and I've really got some great ones from Henry, but I love this one. Henry talks about failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. So I have now with me today Cindy. Cindy is our business manager at Totally Morpheus, also our virtual assistant, and runs her own business called Executive Virtual Pro. And Cindy and I realized that we have had an opportunity or a couple of opportunities, but one in particular stands out where we realized that it was a turning point in our business and our relationship and our teaming. We're going to explore that now. So, Cindy, you and I have an interesting relationship with this word failure where we say, well, there is no such thing because it's really just an opportunity to begin again more intelligently. So, tell us the story of what went wrong in our relationship and how we were able to recover from it.
Sure. What went wrong? Such a strong word or a strong phrase. But the story that I have, or the story that I'm going to share, is in the beginning stages of our relationship. This was in possibly May 2020. This was, I think, a couple of months after our country went into a hard lockdown. And um, so my business had launched in November 2019, the year prior. So with me still trying to prove the concept of working in my business and making that a successful stream and a permanent stream of income, I still kept my corporate job, but that I didn't disclose to any of my clients at the time. I wanted to keep operating in a silo. I'll put on my executive virtual pro hat, then I'll switch it over to my corporate hat. And so I thought I could manage it and juggle it. I don't know if I thought I was superwoman at the time because I'm a wife and mother with a very demanding corporate career and a business. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was thinking it nonetheless. And so there was a point in our relationship where I had dropped the ball and I felt terrible. And so I thought, okay, there's no way I can navigate my way out of this. It's time to come clean. And I really thought it would be unprofessional for me to disclose to my clients that I was working in corporate still. And it turned out to be one of the best decisions I made, especially for our relationship, because the minute I told you what was actually going on, it's like a whole gray cloud had just completely disappeared and the world's weight had just lifted off my shoulders and I actually felt free. And from that moment where you had an understanding of exactly what was going on in my corporate career and in my business, you and I were able to move forward and successfully so.
I remember that time so well. I remember sort of going, what's going on? Where is Cindy's attention? Because there's so much good connection and healthy connection, but then stuff was not happening. Certain things were not happening. So I remember though as well, just I felt the release, the weight off my shoulder when we kind of were able to come clean and really discuss how we were both feeling actually. And so, what happened from there? How do you view this teaming from that point forward?
It was definitely a turning point in the right direction. Because from that moment, I was able to freely express to you where my capabilities were or what I was capable of achieving. And suddenly things just became so clear. And I was able to focus where my attention was required for corporate. And then I was able to focus where my attention was required for my business. And that resulted in things taking sort of settling down in both avenues, both silos that I was busy operating in. And the beautiful thing that came out of that situation was the actual decision that I needed to make. And from that moment on, I decided, okay, this is no longer the corporate hat, is something I no longer want to wear. I am now moving into my business, and I happen to make that a huge success. And I'm so grateful for that turning point because without that turning point, I possibly would have still been operating and burning out and a whole host of other things that's not very attractive. So Um,
A real example of that beginning again, but more intelligently. So thank you. One more question. What did that do to our relationship? So, it's one of those things where clearly, you felt like you were operating in silos and there was pieces that I didn't know what was going on. But what happened to our teaming, our relationship for building a stronger team from that point?
it completely opened up avenues that I never knew could exist. Um, the whole idea of keeping everything, I want to say, almost secretive. Your clients can't know too much, and that are operating on that whole element of silos, the silo mentality, the separation of all. Like they just need to know what they need to know, things that it needs to affect their business. Beyond that, they don't. And that has certainly taught me a different avenue of dealing with business. And I mean, everything else that happened after that, if I had still operated in that silo mentality with everything that I've been through in the year 2021, that would have never have been possible if I had still kept that I'm going to call it secretive mentality. And with that with me operating in that method or methodology now, I was just able to really be free and be present for my business, for my clients. And it was just a beautiful outcome. It was a difficult experience, a difficult conversation, but a beautiful outcome.
It seems then that for both of us, we no longer think of failure as failure.
Absolutely not. Failure is definitely an opportunity to restart and more intelligently.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. You will then get regular conscious leadership updates in your YouTube feed.